Well, Stockton Athletics has always been successful, and I saw that in my years competing against them. I think the evolution that we've had mainly has been growing our programs, making for more participation opportunities for our athletes, but at the same time, keeping the focus on the student-athlete experience and making sure that that's the best it can be. And I think that's kind of been our mark, and still being successful while maintaining that focus.
Stockton has changed a lot. As a university, really, and I've seen a lot of those changes just in the past 10 years. But certainly the full-time coaches that we have, the quality of student athletes that we have, and the commitment they bring to their sport and to their academics is really impactful. And I would say that certainly Stockton's athletic success is greater. We're in the top 4 or 5 of the conference, as opposed to, I think years ago it was more in the bottom 4 or 5. So there has certainly been growth.
The facilities have increased tenfold. We played out past where you see the lacrosse field and the soccer fields out there. We had a grass field out there, and then we switched over when the sports center was built and whatnot over to the North Complex, which was an amazing development and just a tremendous area for all of our sports to participate out there.
Since I've been here, we've added 4 sports. Our facilities have grown. We built the turf field, new tennis courts, the improvements to the baseball and softball fields. To our complex over here, we just got a brand new floor in the sports center. So I think that's been a big part of it. Also, the addition of more full-time coaches and expanded rosters, so we have more student athletes now.
Ideally, they come in, they get, first off, a superb education. And at the same time, they can compete at the highest level that they can in Division III. And for us to be able to provide that, to provide the support for them to both achieve academically and achieve athletically, I think that's the optimal experience. And hopefully to be part of success, to be part of what I just talked about, of being able to compete with the very best programs in the conference, because ultimately when you're an athlete, wanting to succeed and compete at that level is really what it's about. So again, for us to be able to afford both sides of that equation, and on top of that, for them to develop as a person, so that when they get through with being a student athlete here, they're able to contribute more to their community, to society, because of the experience that they've had in athletics.
I think the most unique thing about our Stockton athletes that I have noticed is the emphasis that they place on their academics. It's not easy to get into Stockton. It's a respected community, respected university, and the academic vigor that these students have. I work in athletic training, so they're always coming in to do their rehab, to do their exercises, and they're a lot of times doing their homework while they're doing a lot of things that are passive. And the classes that they take are not easy. To see them excel in the classroom as well as on the athletic field is pretty impressive.
I feel that the numbers of them have done tremendous things outside of just athletics. There's numbers of folks that have gone on to do tremendous things in their careers, as well as on the campus with volunteer activities and clubs and those kinds of things. They've really made a mark at Stockton, I believe.
Well, I think the caliber of student athletes has changed a lot. I know some athletes are playing multiple sports. There are athletes coming from out of state more that I saw. I understand that there's a person from Utah that is coming to play volleyball. So I think that Stockton as an institution, the fact that it's no longer the most hidden secret around, I would say the caliber has changed because of that, because we've been to Final Fours and because we've been to national championships. But on top of that, just outstanding consistency throughout the region, and many things that we do continues to change the people that are interested in us, quite frankly, more than us recruiting other individuals.
Our coaches do a fantastic job of recruiting quality students. We have last year, or the past 3 years, 17 out of our 18 programs had team GPAs over 3.0. That's hard to find, that kind of consistency. And then when you add to it their level of commitment to their sport and what they produce on the field, you can see the kind of quality, not just of student, not just of athlete, but of person that our coaches are recruiting.
The staff here is an amazing group of people, and we've evolved. We've had so many people in and out, but we've had some tremendous coaches, and I can remember numbers of them supporting my program as I have tried to support all programs, intramurals, club sports. We've tried to see, and we tried to help each other out in the best way we could.
Well, I think we've had so many players over the years that have embodied what Stockton's about. I think about a guy like Omar Smith, who was on the men's basketball team in 2009. The amount of growth he showed as a player and as a person in his 4 years, he kind of springs to mind immediately. But there have been so many others. I mean, a lot of our Hall of Famers are fortunately people that I got to see in some cases. Tara Barker on softball, coming from California, and the impact she had on our softball program and our athletic department because she worked in the student training room for 6 years.
Basketball was another story. Was full. There was a whole section right behind the bench of those of us who traveled down there, and every play, both in the semifinal game, which was really a better game, to get us to that final game, it was just very exciting to watch, and realizing what was at stake and who was there. Jerry being coming near the end of his Stockton career. Nobody knew when that was going to be, but it was a nice cap into what he had done for so many years.
A couple years ago, we had one of our own pass away way sooner than she should have, and I apologize if I get a little misty. But she was a recent grad, and she was an athlete here for one of our sports teams, and she also worked in athletic training services as one of our student workers. And she'd come back every year with her company when they had the job fair, and she'd visit us. So she was an integral part of Stockton, and we lost her way too young. And I was floored by how we came together as a department, and we still do, and we still honor her memory. And they say sports is a metaphor for life, the ups and the downs, and this was just, a perfect example of how it really does come through.
I think my favorite moments, the big ones that stick out certainly are the championships, men's soccer winning a national championship in 2001. The field hockey, the ECAC championship game in field hockey went to overtime. Stockton was able to win in overtime, so that was exciting and a big step for that program because they had never won a postseason tournament that set a school record for wins.
One of my favorite times here at Stockton in the position that I'm in was when we hosted the NCAA Regional Volleyball Championship and got to one step away from getting to the Final Four, to put on that event as well as watch the very, very high level of play by our team was certainly one of the top moments since I've been here.
Larry James was just an incredible mentor, person, manager that showed you again really what Stockton was about to help you adopt that Stockton spirit altogether. He used to use the word Stocktonize them, and I didn't understand what it meant. And Larry James, I really see what it means now. He's a person that kept a lot of us in higher education to do better and to try to get the most out of it, and that's what he did. He treated the area like family. He treated the athletics like family, and going in the Hall of Fame and getting it started was a passion of his. And it was always a passion of his as well, not just to be more competitive, but to find out the depth of things through also the world and how things go on in the world. And he was very humble and never talked about his gold medal much or his accolades and all the things that he brought. But he helped people to continue to learn, and his other goal is Stockton Athletics or no other area gets better unless we continue to re-educate people on what we need and how we do things and why we do things well, to re-educate.
Larry was an Olympic champion, so how could you not be inspired by that in and of itself? But he was certainly a man of character. Everything that he undertook, it was always with a lot of passion. His academic, his athletic, and his religious passions, I guess, or strengths, came out, and he was always a very strong supporter of academics as well.
Larry James, let me sum it up in one way. His mantra, he said it all the time, was great games, great grades, and graduation. I believe it's fulfilled by what we've seen on the Stockton campus right now. His legacy goes on in that statement.
The Hall of Fame has been a great addition to Stockton Athletics. We started it in 2010. We've been able to honor our best and brightest from the history of Stockton Athletics and really bring people together every year, kind of reunite them with Stockton Athletics. We've had a number of Hall of Famers who come back year after year for the ceremony. So the buy-in has been great from our former athletes and our staff. So it's just kind of growing that Stockton Athletics community and bringing people together year after year.
We've inducted quite a few really good athletes. I'm on that committee, so I see the inside of it. We since we were so, well, not late, but just a young institution still, that we like to honor legacy athletes as well, who might have played in a different kind of competition. Standards were different, equipment was different, training was different, and so forth. But we like to honor those people as well.
Challenges, it's a cliche, but there are also opportunities. And so, when I first came aboard, I saw that there was opportunities for growth. I saw there was opportunities for us to be more competitively successful. I thought there were opportunities for us to grow and be better as a staff, as a team. And again, I think we've gotten on that trajectory. We can always continue to be better in all those aspects, and that's my goal, to make sure that we do.
We have several new coaches on the staff, many of whom have been here 5 years or less, so I think it's going to be kind of their time to take their programs to the next level and really build their programs. Women's rowing has grown immensely in the past year, and I think that's going to just keep getting bigger and better. The men's lacrosse team is on a great run the last 4 or 5 years, and to finally see them break through with the conference championship last year was great, and I think that's going to be a springboard for bigger and better things for them. Women's golf is just starting this month, so that's going to be another growth opportunity.
That many of our teams rank up there very highly nationally, academically. So it's what I guess really makes me happy is to see that balance, and I can't contribute to much on the field other than cheering and clapping, but I do feel that I make a contribution academically. So that's a great pride that I have. So I just want to see that both of those continue: high academic standards and performance, and high athletic standards and performance.
Well, I think the future is certainly keeping the momentum that we've got, continuing to grow our programs, again, keeping the focus on making sure that as we do that, we don't lose sight of what that student-athlete experience is about, but saying that we can do that and still be competitive with the very best programs in the conference across the board. And so until we're at that point where every one of our programs is competing for the top spot, I think that's where we're going to continue to look. And if we're competing with the top programs in the NJAC, then we're nationally successful across the board as well. And so, that's the ultimate goal, is to have that from program 1 through program 19.
Go Ospreys!
Go Ospreys!
Go Ospreys!
It's a great day to be an Osprey.
Go Ospreys!
Go Ospreys!